What instantly kills the vibe at a party?
Someone wanting to talk politics.
Aggressive, S.
The dude who had too much.
When some mope brings out their guitar and starts playing without anyone having asked them to. Sorry, but you are not the center of attention you seem to want to be.
Using the party for MLM sales opportunities. I was invited to a dinner party and only found out when I got there that it was a pitch for Amway. When I arrived, I was told there would be a short presentation prior to dinner. I said, no, thank you, and left.
When someone gets too and starts arguing.
When someone turns off the music and starts playing an acoustic guitar.
Someone took a in the sink at a house party of mine once. That was a buzzkiller for sure.
Shortage of drinks when everything is closed.
The crying girl that needs everyone to console her. Get out of the bathroom, there's a line forming.
The person with a fresh breakup.
An overdose.
That one sad who is loud as.
Someone trying to show off a weapon, especially a gun. It's time to nope out.
Gunshots.
Landing on your car keys when you try to do the splits.
A couple getting into a public argument.
Injuries. Watch me dive head first into the shallow end of the pool and break both my hands. Or I'm going to do a keg stand and break my nose.
I did this at a party, brought out my Tazza and started playing with it. That brought up the vibe. Until someone asked to see it and I let them, and they started being hella sus with it, almost tazzing people, and I couldn't get it back. Thankfully I did, and I locked it in my car, and then that guy followed another friend home and her friend stabbed him 6 times.
The two drunkest guys getting into a fight and then hearing one of their GFS start crying and screaming things like, "Stop for me please, look at me, this isn't you," etc. before she gets yeeted by being in the crossfire.
I feel like that last part deserves more weight.
Let me guess, Wonderwall?
I think the S is needed. A single, aggressive can be headed off. The party can pinball them around the place and make them feel, if not, push them into aggressive drunks. Now,
when someone gets extremely wasted and too out of control, starts to pick fights, has fits, will sprawl on the ground, needs 100% supervision, has to be carried around. You just want to chill and enjoy the party, but you can't 'cause you're stuck babysitting them.
Moved back to my small town. First person to contact me outside of the small friend group that knew was trying to get me to come by for an Amway for making my homecoming. Leslie. You're a horrible cheerleader.
There is always that one girl crying and no one knows why.
That's the worst. They swoop in and act like they're genuinely happy to see you, then hit you with the sales pitch.
Pointing out someone's recent bad thought, it would be a good idea to loudly ask a girl, "Hey, I heard you failed your test so hard that you flunked out of your program, is that true?"
One of my top lines from the show, The Office, Andy starts playing the guitar. Jim, hey, do you take requests? Andy, of course. Jim, okay, please stop playing.
Because she won't tell anyone, so more people will her hair and keep asking. Spoiler alert. Tyler kissed Becky 2 weeks before they got together and neither told her. She even let Becky borrow her car that she's looking at her calendar can't tell because her phone screen is cracked. But can you believe? Tired.
When people take over the TV to share YouTube videos. Party pooper.
I remember I was at a party once and this girl did that. But she thought she was too. She wasn't, and was going to die, and got people to call an ambulance for her. We sat at a table drinking beers and rolling joints, Canada. And these paramedics and cops showed up, and it was basically just an eye-roll fest for everyone involved.
Oh, there's a funny video about this. Let me find it. No, it'll just be a second. I don't see it on TikTok. Was it YouTube? 1 second. It's loading. Okay, here it is. No, wait. No, it's this one. Okay, ready.
Holy this. There was one girl who always killed the party in high school. She would get and then just cry about everything and how you don't get it. Eventually we kicked her out, twice, because she came back in covered in mud since she fell in the garden, and after that we would turn her away at the door.
4 or 5 guys RSN dumbly walking in that may or may not know the host.
The scratched record noise.
Someone putting the big light on.
At my own wedding, which I had procured enough alcohol to a medium-sized African country's population, the event coordinator came up to my wife and I like mid-dinner and was like, "We're going to run out of booze." I was like, if that's true, people would be leaving, and it was late and snowy and we were way up on top a mountain, but we were not going to run out of booze, so one person's sober mom made the most epic BERRUN of all time down the mountain to the liquor store before it closed, and we partied all morning. We're taking inventory after the party and there was a massive amount of alcohol left over, like several grand worth that we got to take home. No clue why the venue planner said we were running out, but we drank on that alcohol surplus for like a year before it ran out.
I'm a teacher, and this made me retch a little. It sounds like my typical day.
A friend of mine announced she had to to the entire kitchen while she was intoxicated. She proceeded to liquid diarrhea on herself. It hit the floor, it smelled terrible. Party ended before it really ever began. Guess she had some stomach bug or IBS or ended up getting diapers for any gift-giving occasion after. No clue where she ended up. We lost touch a year or so. I've had some experts weigh in to tell me nobody with IBS trusts farts, so I'm going to bend the knee to those soldiers battling their own colons and rule out IBS. I'll leave it in though for continuity.
That's entertaining for the most part. One fine.
Ah yes, time for the adventure. Gathers the folks for the quest to the closest gas station to buy more alcohol, gets lost twice, changes destination several times, 3 people go missing, somebody passes out, drink entire booze before they make their way back home.
You underestimate the power of an aggressive with a sprinkle of insanity. Went to a small cozy wedding party and one of the guests, sister of the groom, brought her boyfriend of 5 months. Funny guy, easy to talk to, all cool until suddenly hit the fan entirely. The guy became incoherent, threatened to the married couple's toddler if they don't stop him off, then got told off as everyone was rightfully, ran out of the garden hut away from the property, threw himself to the floor and started simulating some kind of seizure, all while his girlfriend suffered a major panic attack, through all of it out of guilt, and ended with an ambulance and a police car.
When I was 17, I passed out for 4 hours, then woke up and started arguing that natural evolution no longer applies to humans because we keep solving problems that would have led to people dying before passing on their genes. Thus only selective evolution still applied. I regret that night immensely. But, fortunately, by the time I woke up the party was basically dead anyway, so I didn't much of the vibe.
I witnessed this. Host and 2 friends went to a room to do a little booger sugar, but it must have been laced with fentanyl or something. They were found unresponsive, party over, paramedics, cops, etc. Narcan definitely saved them and they made a full recovery, but what a horrible night.
Anybody whips out a crack, pipe, or syringes, I'm out.
If it's a chick, she's trying too hard to act single, groping random guys, constantly wooing, screaming lyrics, and swearing. She tries too hard to be the center of attention, knocks all the cups off the beer pong table, and constantly barges into other conversations. And then she crashes into a ball of sadness in the bathroom where random girls have to hold her hair and fix her mascara. If it's a guy, he rolls into the party 6 deep and is being physically dragged into the house. He is surrounded by other guys who are hyping him up and going around the house explaining to random girls how great he is. Strangers who are absolutely wasted give him advice and repetitive compliments. He ends up doing too many shots in a row and stumbles into the backyard to yak.
When I was about 15/16, a mate of mine threw a party because his parents were out of town. There was a dude at this party, all but downed a 75 centiliters bottle of Southern Comfort straight from the bottle. Started falling over everywhere, started throwing darts everywhere, but the dartboard then proceeded to throw up in the sink in the bathroom. Then got in the bath and slipped over, bringing the railing down. Got out and went and passed out in the host's parents' bed. They all antiqued him and wrote the usual on his face, drew dicks, swastikas, got up in the morning, had to apologize, and then got picked up by his dad and had to explain it all to that lad, was me. Learn from my mistakes, kids. Put Coke or lemonade in your Southern Comfort.